Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 550. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, everybody?
And Brian Manjoma.
Sony, how's it that my PS5 now is somehow better than my PS5 I bought at launch is somehow better than the PS5 that's out there now?
Uh-oh.
On top of that.
We live in strange times. The PS5 costs now, it costs more now, even though they haven't changed anything.
They have changed something.
It's actually news? About the digital version, right? Where it's shitty. Like they fuck.
Yeah.
What happened with that? Because I didn't look into it. Like they fuck. Like they does it have less storage now or something?
Yeah, they went back to the 825. So when they had the refresh, it went up to 1 terabyte, and then now the new one will have 825 gigs.
My favorite number.
So it's like, why? Like it's actually worse and costs more.
It costs more and it's worse. This is the world we live in now. You know, it's crazy. But yeah, you guys got the four of us tonight. Everybody else is out. Just the four of us. Yeah. Brett's still feeling sick. Adam says he has a headache, but he claims it's not because of the MetaQuest. I beg to differ. I think it is. Manny. Okay, so Manny, he was apparently in New York helping his aunt move. You know, she lives in Staten Island. And I was like, yo, man, why didn't you tell me you were in the city? He's like, I was in Staten Island. That shit's not the city. I may as well have been in Jersey. I'm like, touche, sir, touche. So there you go. And Chris is tired too. So you got four of us, but we got a lot of shit to cover. It's gonna be crazy. It's kind of funny because we were teasing we were gonna do a giveaway today, but can't do the giveaway because Manny's out here. You know,
the giveaway man's not here.
Yeah, what's up with that? All right, so what's up?
No, I was like, where you at?
Where you at? So let's talk about the first topic here. A topic I did not expect to talk about at all.
No.
But here we are, you know. We got to talk about Hollow Knight Silksong. Again, I know you guys are like, wait, your leading topic for Throwdown is an indie game. Yes, because said indie game broke the fucking internet. I've never seen this before. You know, so yeah, the game was finally released today. No review codes were put out there because this is all stuff I learned after the fact because I don't keep up with whatever the fuck, Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's one of those games I just knew about that existed, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, like it came out today. Anyway, it's a Kickstarter game, so that's why no review codes went out. They're like, no, these people paid for the game; they get the game first. Fair enough, you know. But yeah, so it got launched on everything: Steam, PlayStation, Xbox. All of those stores went down. All of them.
All of them.
That's crazy, you know. So, Carlos, I'm going to appoint you as a resident Hollow Knight expert because you've actually played the original one, I believe. So why are people going so crazy for this game? And also, let me do a little tease. Because I'll just keep it real right now. This shit was popping all day. My boss is like, "Yo, can you play this game and write about it?" Like, fuck. So I actually ended up playing like 45 minutes worth of the game. So I'll tell you my initial thoughts. But yeah, Carlos, can you set that scene? Like, why is this game blowing up like this? Because to me, I'm like, it's another fucking indie game. What's the big deal? But apparently the first game was huge.
Yeah, well, so just to clarify, I'm the de facto Hollow Knight expert just for the simple fact that I played it. I'd never beat it.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
So that's pretty much it. But yeah, the game came out, I think 2017, a long time ago. 2017. That's 3 years before the pandemic. That's like 10 in dog years.
Jeez.
It's been a while. It's an indie game, like Tony mentioned, and it got good reviews. People liked it when it came out, but it was never that big when it came out. I think during the pandemic is when, it kind of blew up. And it's just a solid game. People compare it to a lot of other Metroidvania games that are pretty popular. To me, it always gave me like a Ori type feel, even though it doesn't play like Ori. It's just the way it moves and the way the settings are sort of set up. I don't know, Tony, you played them, so you probably might felt with Silksong a little bit similar.
I was wondering, am I only thinking about Ori games because that's like the de facto
Only 2D
one?
game?
Yeah, like I mean, granted, it doesn't feel like Cuphead at all, obviously. But yeah, Ori was the closest one, even though stylistically it doesn't look anything like Ori, but it did animation wise, it gave me that feel. So maybe that's what it is,
Yeah.
But the presentation is very different, very dark and grim, compared to Ori, which is kind of very bright and colorful.
It's like if Ori and Limbo and had a baby or something like that.
Pretty much.
So the game is really popular also because it's like the lore of the game is pretty big. The map is huge. Like the game is actually like it's a 2D Metroidvania game that's an indie game, but actually it takes a long time for you to beat it. Like if you want to play the whole game, it takes over like at least 25 hours.
Oh wow.
To beat it. So it's a pretty substantial game, and I think they added stuff after the fact. So the game even blew up then, during the pandemic and stuff. After it came out, and people have been waiting for the new sequel for a long time. I think it got announced several years ago, so people have been waiting for a long time. And now that it come out, it had a lot. And I mentioned in the previous episode, it sold over 15 million copies, and that was before the bump that it probably got the last couple of days.
Yeah,
because the last couple of days, a lot of people have been playing the game, and so people have been waiting for this game, and it got announced to be September 4th a couple of weeks ago, and now it's about to come out. People have been playing the original game, and what did Team Cherry, the people who make this game, what did they do? $20. One of the most
$20, bro.
One of the most highly anticipated games of the year. They said it's $20. A game where its predecessor took over 25 hours to complete and was a great game. The sequel, which is supposed to be even bigger, apparently, is worth only $20. The original was 15, I think. So $20, people lost their minds because this is obviously in the day and age that we're living in right now. We're not expecting games to cost this low. I mean, we played Ninja Gaiden, Ragebound, and Shinobi. Those were like $20 games, a little bit over $20. Silksong is even less, which is crazy. So people were like online were saying, "Oh, yo, man, I want to pay more money for this."
Damn, no, shut up. Crazy. Don't fuck it up for the rest of us.
So, all of that led to sort of a euphoric moment for the game, which is great, man, because that's you want to blow up for the right reasons, because the original game was pretty big and pretty popular, and because they're releasing a game at a price that no one was expecting. People were expecting at least $40.
Wow.
It's an indie game, super popular. $20, man. There's really no excuse to not get it if you're interested. $20, I guess these days is the cost of a cheeseburger, for all I know.
No, in New York, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah. I mean,
so
actually, this fucking game costs less than it cost me for a matinee ticket. I am not exaggerating.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So it led to today where Steam, PlayStation Store, the Switch Online Store, it all went down. I mean, PlayStation, it took a while. Steam, I think, was the first one that went back up. PlayStation took a good 40 minutes after it came out. And looks like people are playing it. I'm looking at the Steam charts now. Over
what are they? 500,000, goddamn.
For the day, yeah. Currently, right now, I think it's 416.
Yeah.
So, really good. And so, yeah, shout out to Team Cherry, man. There weren't any reviews like you mentioned, Tony. So we don't know what people are going to think about the game. It could not be good for all we know, but at least the hype is there, and people are buying it.
Yeah. Shout out to Reggie, who's in the chat right now. And Rich, he wants you specifically to talk about this game.
Oh,
little bit of an inside joke there, but I don't know if you have any thoughts on this Hollow Knight phenomenon that we're experiencing.
Actually, yes, I do have some thoughts. They may not be received well, but I have to say what I think.
Now, Rich,
So-
are your thoughts controversial?
Yes, they are. They are going to be controversial for some. I think they will be. So let me start by saying shout out to Team Cherry. Congratulations on launching this game. To answer your question, Tony, about why this is considered such a phenomenon, it has to do with a couple of different things. Obviously, the price point, but also the fact that this game has been in development for about 7 years.
Wow.
And they were very open in saying that they just wanted to take as much time as they wanted to because they were enjoying working on the game, which is fine. But I do want to say this. Now, I will mention a little bit later about some other stuff that I played, but I did end up going to Microsoft, the Microsoft campus last week when I was in Seattle for PAX West, and I got a chance to play this game on both the ROG Ally X as
nice.
well as the Xbox Series XS. The demo that I had played, there were basically 2 short demos just to give you an idea of the combat, the boss fight, so on and so forth. Now, let me say, I think the game looks pretty good. Yeah, the art style looks great. Some of the Metroidvania stuff in there is also good. But I will say that I personally don't understand the phenomenon of the game because I played another game not too long ago by the name of Shinobi Art of Vengeance. And when it comes to the platforming, that game is a top tier experience, in my personal opinion. So obviously, maybe the demo that I played, there wasn't the best representation of the game because I don't know at what point it takes place in the game, whether this was early in the game. I actually do think one of those demo sessions, it was early in the game. The other one was later. But I will say that I was not that impressed with all the hype. I don't understand the hype. Okay, so I have to say I definitely have to spend a lot more time with the game. I'm looking forward to what you have to say, Tony. But my opinion, as of right now, this game is a little bit overhyped. That's just my opinion. That doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's just that I think there's a lot of games that came out this year, some of which did not get enough attention. And then there are some other games that came out that didn't get any attention that probably deserve more attention. So that's why I say I understand this. It has a fan base. That fan base is very excited for the game, and I'm happy for all of them. But if you was to ask me, is this a game of the year contender? I don't know about that. And I will give my answer later as to why I feel that way when we get into, as the show goes on. But I will obviously play more of it to see how it is, but I don't understand the hype, man. I just have to be honest. I don't understand the hype. There's a lot to the game. I understand that, but man, there's a lot of other games that came out this year I think were pretty damn phenomenal. So I'll be curious to see where this game ends up at the end of the year. Obviously, we all know it's going to be nominated for Game of the Year. Will it actually win it? I don't know about that, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'll share my thoughts on what I played. Again, I only played about 45 minutes. How much did you play of it, Rich?
Yeah, it's about the same time.
Okay.
Because the demos were pretty short. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know because right now, yeah, that's how I'm feeling too. Like when and again, it's not that it's a bad game or anything. Like the thing that stands out the most obviously is the art style. The game begins with like an animated sequence, which I think is like actually hand animated. It's not like CG or in-game cutscenes. It looked beautiful actually. But playing it for 45 minutes, I'm like, yep, this is definitely an indie game. Like it has that kind of loose feeling, like Limbo kind of. It's like, and again, Rich, I'm really glad you brought up Ninja Gaiden and Shinobi because those games very precise, very tight controls, right? This game, I'm not saying controls bad, but it doesn't feel as precise as those. And with those two games, I didn't need 45 minutes to make up. Think about this. With Silksong, I played 45 minutes. The jury's still out, right? With Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden, one level, I'm like, oh, yep, the game of the year material for both of them. You know, like instant, like, fuck, this is good. You know, but maybe Silksong is one of those games where it's like, it's a slow burn, fair enough. But yeah, right now, and I'll be honest, one of the reasons I wanted to even showcase this, beyond the fact that it's just blowing up, I want to answer the question, what is the big deal about this game, this franchise now? Because I kind of don't get it. To me, I'm like, it's a really nice-looking indie game. That's about it. Because here's the thing. When this game, the first one came out, I didn't bother with it, not only because of the fact that it's an indie game, but it's like, oh, here we go, another Metroidvania indie game, number 5,000, whatever, you know. We have every other fucking indie game, especially during that time, was a Metroidvania, so I didn't bother with it. So obviously when this game was announced, whenever the fuck it was announced, like a week or two ago, we learned where it was dropping, a bunch of other indie developers like, fuck, we got to move our release dates around because the Silksong. Like, why? What's the big deal about this fucking game? So I Googled, how much did Hollow Knight sell? I'm expecting 1 million copies at most. At most. 15 times that, bro. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? But yeah, so again, I'm not shitting on the game. I kind of see the appeal, at least, when it comes to the art style. But, maybe there's something there. And Rich, I know you said you're going to play more. I'd probably play another hour or two, but I don't think I'm going to continue this. I'm like, I'd rather go back to Metal Gear still, to be honest. And, as I tweeted out, I got a code for motherfucking Tokon, bro. I think I'm going to be spending my weekend playing that instead. The closed beta, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Even though there's nothing to say, I can't play it right now. I just downloaded it, So yeah, Silksong. I want to address something Reggie said. He goes, people are loving Silksong, man. The smiles on their faces are so refreshing. Now, Reggie, who smile? Do those smiles belong to pretty streamer girls? Is that who you're watching? I know how you are, Reggie. How much of that bathwater are you buying, bruh? My man Jeffrey Wilson's, he goes, indie devs were moving their dates. Yeah, dude, it's great. It is GTA. I tweeted this shit. I'm like, is this the fucking GTA of indie games? Like Jeff, dead ass, bro. Like, some indie developers were pissed because remember, they just dropped, like, yo, it's dropping September 4th. And they were like, oh, fuck, we got to move our dates around. Again, at that time, I'm like, why would they have to do that? Then I looked it up. The fucking game sold 15 million. But Carlos, I didn't realize that it really jumped during the pandemic. That shit makes fucking sense, But again, my core question is, what is it about this game that made it sell so much? It's got to be something that I'm missing here, And again, I'm not trying to denigrate the shit. I'm legit just trying to understand,
Oh no, the thing is, I don't think you guys understand.
I don't.
Indie games that are on Steam, like the popularity for a lot of those games is massive. I mean, like, think about like Hades, think about like Dead Cells, think about Bloodstained. Like, all of those games are huge. Like, a game like Dead Cells has sold over 10 million copies.
That's insane to me.
Yeah,
and it's because these games don't cost as much and they're on sale a lot of times. So a lot of people buy them, because they're not expensive. The barrier of entry is really low, and people are really hype them up because they're good games. So I wouldn't take too much into it. Like, oh, go ahead.
I'll make a comment. You continue first. I do want to make a comment after you finish.
Yeah, the thing with these games, there's a whole bunch of these that are super popular that people love, and I wouldn't. Hollow Knight is not one of one. It's not GTA, at least for me. There's a lot of games that are to this type of caliber.
Let me look up Hades. How much did that fucking game sell? But Hades is another one. But at least I know why I don't like it. I just don't like those fucking roguelikes, whatever the fuck genre that is.
Well, let me make a quick comment here. Carlos, you are 1,000% correct about Dead Cells. I'm very familiar with that game. I actually really like that game. And I also like the game that came out not too long ago called Sea of Stars. So I definitely understand the indie game phenomenon, because there are some games you play and it's like, this is fantastic and this is better than a lot of the AAA mainstream titles. So I definitely understand that. With this particular game, I think it has that audience that is really into it because they played the previous game. So I respect it. But to answer the question about the hype, I really do think it's a little bit of that, but it's also the fact that this game, people have been waiting to play this game for like 7 years. And I think that that is the thing. Yeah. And then, of course, when they announced it, because even with Gamescom, I did a video about the fact that I thought they were going to announce the release date at Gamescom. And then the thing is, they waited until days later. Team Cherry announced it on their own YouTube channel. And then the excitement came when it said September 4th, because it was coming sooner. People thought originally this was slated to come at some point before the year was over. But when they said September 4th, there's a lot of excitement, plus the price point. There's a lot of reasons why people are excited. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt and try out the game. But as I will promote, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to promote, to tell people they need to listen to the end of this podcast, because I do have a comment to make later in the show about why I think this game, it's going to get nominated for Game of the Year, but there's another game that clearly I think is going to win Game of the Year, and I saw that based on what happened at PAX West. So we'll get into that later.
Yeah, for sure. Kuel, he goes, the first game would have sold over 4 million at $70 to reach the same revenue as it did with 15 million at $20.
I would disagree. It might have sold less.
Yeah. I don't think people would have bought this game at $70.
Yeah, $70 is a lot for that type of game.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody would have bought that game at $70.
Vampire Survivors. Like, there's a whole bunch of these games. The Witness. There's a plethora of these type of games that have sold a shit ton.
Yeah, I never thought about it. You're right. The price, the cost is definitely a factor.
Sea of Stars, I think, has sold millions as well. Like, it's
Rich. That's your game right there, bro.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Let me see.
Oh, by the way, Hades only sold 1 million. I know a million's a lot, but we're talking about tens of millions now.
Oh, are you sure? Is that
I think
that's what it says. Hades.
Is Hades still in early access, or is it out of early access now?
I have no fucking idea. I think they make a Hades too.
Oh yeah, Hades 2. I'm thinking of Hades 2. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
So it says Hades has sold over 1 million copies, a milestone it reached within 2 years.
Yeah. So that's definitely out on the level of Dead Cells and Hollow Knight. Not at all. Dead Cells, I just looked it up. Like you said, Carlos, 10 million. Just insane.
Yep.
I
wonder how much Bloodstained sold.
And by the way,
couldn't have sold that much, I don't think.
Dead Cells is actually on Game Pass now also. That's because I was playing that a couple of weeks ago. So
look at that. Sea of Stars, 6 million. Huge.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
That is crazy to me, man. But yeah, congratulations to, what's her name? Team Cherry, right?
Team Cherry.
Yep.
Good on them. And if Rich and I play more of this game, we'll let you know what we think for sure. Very interesting.
Well, you might not know Rich's thoughts, but you'll know his thoughts about Shinobi, though.
Excuse me? Yeah. Brian, you got any thoughts on Hollow Knight?
My thoughts are pretty simple. I honestly, I don't have any care towards this game at all, but it does look nice. Really, I don't get that. Again, I'm exact same boat as you. I don't get the hype. I don't understand the hype.
Yep.
People like it. Great for them. I'm happy. I'm happy that they're excited to play it. Great. It sold a lot. Even better. Won't even be touching it. Won't even I'll just ignore it when it comes on the Steam page. I'm like, okay, cool. Next. I don't care.
Yeah. Again, the only reason I'm playing is because my boss told me to. Isn't that insane? Yo, play this game. Like, okay. Oh, man. Thankfully, I didn't have to pay for it. The company paid for it, so that's good, you know? But yeah, congratulations, even though I don't get the hype. But, you know, it is what it is, man. No hate. And I have to specify no hate because, you know, motherfuckers are like, oh, you don't get the hype? You're a fucking hater. You know? Like, no, ain't no hate, no hate. But even in our Discord, motherfuckers were like, what? Like, no, I think it was like one dude that's playing it, you know? Even those dudes didn't get it either, you know? All right.
So,
yeah, what's up?
I tried it on the portal. Yeah, that shit looks butter.
It looks butter. Excuse me? Yeah, I was playing it on Steam, Bennett.
Uh-oh.
I got to play it on my TV, though, you know?
On my TV?
Yeah, because I just did a quick playthrough. So I just played it right here, you know, in front of the monitor. All right, man, let's move on. Soon about sales, we got to talk about Helldivers 2. New data says something very interesting. Apparently, the game has sold faster on Xbox than PlayStation. Ain't that something? You know, because
That's crazy.
Because you would assume, like, oh, nobody's on Xbox, there's more people on PlayStation. You would just assume easy win for PlayStation. Turns out, I don't know about total sales yet, but it's selling faster on Xbox. Although I will say, I kind of get it. Because this is the type of game, first of all, it's not on Game Pass, so you have to buy it. You know? I don't think this game would have sold at all on Xbox if it was on Game Pass. Okay, so one, it's not on Game Pass, so you have to buy it. And two, it's an Xbox type of game, right? It's a fucking shooting game. So it makes sense. Because even before Xbox, the game sold and did better on PC, right? Even though PlayStation guys obviously like this game, it is not the typical kind of PlayStation game they would expect. This is a very typical Xbox type of game, shooting game, you know? So I think that's probably the reason, one of the reasons, but I think the main one is it ain't on Game Pass, you motherfuckers need to pay, you know? So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm wondering if, because Helldivers 2 for us, it wasn't that big of a game like the way we view it right now. So I'm curious if how quickly or how long it took for the hype to kick in. Was it the first week? Was it in the second week, the third week? It was pretty quickly after it came out, but I'm not sure which one it was. So when it came out for Xbox, it had all the hype that the game has garnered in the last year or so since it's come out. So that could be an attributing factor, but nonetheless, have to give a shout out to the Xbox community that, you know, they in droves went to buy a game.
Yeah.
That's because we don't see that for even Xbox games. Obviously, Game Pass, like you mentioned, is a huge factor, but you know, it's great that you know developers are getting know what they're getting for you know putting their games into these platforms.
Yeah. I think it's like a good sign. It's like, or not a good sign. It's a sign of like, hey, if you want to make money, maybe you don't want to put it on Game Pass, you know? Kind of interesting there. So let me read this real quick. This is from Windows Central. Recently, a new report began circulating that could potentially bust the fanboy narrative that Xbox players don't buy games. This is already kind of biased. Oh shit! It's by Jess Corden. But again, I already popped that bubble. You know, the reason that they're buying the game is because they have no choice. The reason Xbox guys don't buy games is because they can just play on Game Pass. If the game ain't on Game Pass, you gotta buy it. You gotta do it the real way instead of just fucking, you know, a little sample here and there. We're gonna talk about that in a bit, by the way. By the way, Kuel, who was obviously a big Xbox guy, he goes, I spent $240 a year on Game Pass. I better be using it. Oh, man. Helldivers 2 is the first game from PlayStation Publishing LLC, formerly launched on Xbox Series X. On the same day, Microsoft reciprocated with Gears of War Reloaded. They didn't reciprocate. That shit was already in the deal. They didn't go, hey, you give us that, you take this. No. They didn't reciprocate, bro. He goes, I think the vast majority of people expect the Helldivers to do well on Xbox. Yeah, we actually did say that. If you run the tape back, we said it'd probably do pretty well on Xbox. The co-op shooter has been wildly popular on PlayStation and Steam. You should probably say has been wildly popular on Steam and PlayStation. Let's be real here. And its launch on Xbox saw its concurrent player base hit 500,000 via in-game stat tracking. Given the game's Halo tie-in DLC and Halo ODST style fantasy, it stands to reason that Helldivers 2 will be popular with the Xbox faithful, but perhaps how popular remains up in the air to some degree. All right. So yeah, again, the report came from some place called Alania, which is like a stat tracking type of deal. But yeah, I don't think there's a mystery here. You know, you have to buy the game. As simple as that. You can't just rent the shit like most Game Pass players do. You know. Anything else you guys want to add to this?
Yeah, like I mentioned previously, it's good to know that there's a substantial amount of folks on the Xbox side that are willing to pay for games, and you know, it's still a viable platform for third parties to put their games on the system. Yeah.
Kuel says you don't think it was part of a deal. It wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. It always seemed weird. Microsoft didn't leverage its IPs to force some of the other console makers to do the same. I can't say if it was a deal or not. But the point of contention I have with this is that Jess is making the assertion that it was reciprocal. I'm saying we don't know that, so you can't make that statement. You know, so I'm not saying they didn't. I'm saying we have no evidence of that, and I don't think it's good to jump to conclusions. You know, but yeah. Go ahead, Rich.
I just gonna make a quick comment and say, well, I'm definitely happy for the people on Xbox that finally get to play this game. I know there was a lot of anger when this game first came out to PlayStation. People were petitioning, wait a second, where's the Xbox copy? You know, and that's why I think, you know, people did go out and support it when they had the opportunity. And of course, at the same time, PlayStation is getting Forza and Gears of War, soon to be Halo. So I think, yeah, the people that were missing out on the game, now they had an opportunity to play it. So this is the kind of stuff that I would expect. However, I would not say look for Spider-Man to come to Xbox in the future. That is to be determined, to be figured out. But yeah, Helldivers 2, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. All right, moving on here. Still talking about Game Pass. The developers of the Indiana Jones game said something very interesting. They basically said that, you know, he's like, you know, they're like, I got to get the exact quote, but they were basically saying like, yeah, Xbox Game Pass users just nibble, you know, they play a game for 5 minutes, they move on. And I'm like, and these guys are seeing the numbers, obviously, you know? So I thought it was kind of wild that it said it. You know, it's like we all know that's happening, obviously. You know, it's like, because if you're a Xbox Game Pass guy, you don't have, by the way, I'd love that I'd be able to freely talk about Game Pass without being interrupted by Brett. Talk my shit right now, you know? If you're on Game Pass, there is no incentive for you to continue playing game, to continue beating a game, because like there is no investment from you, right? Like if I'm pretty sure these fucking guys that bought Helldivers, they're gonna be playing that shit hardcore because they actually have to buy it, you know, like the actual like, you know, copy or whatever, you know, digital copy even. But if you're on Game Pass, it's just part of the buffet, you know, little chicken here, little bean there, you know, shit like that. It's like you're not really taking the shit seriously. frijoles over there and shit. Some fucking noodles. Yeah, Y'all take that watermelon, like it's just like that. Yeah, and then you bring the shit back. Yeah, some mango. Then you bring the shit back to your table, little nibble here and there. And then you don't even finish the shit. You don't care. You pay your $25. What the fuck do you care?
You were engaged.
Yeah, you were engaged, exactly. Let's see. It's on Game Pass. This is what the developer said, one of them. Jens Anderson. Sounds like my man's Scandinavian, It's on Game Pass. There's going to be a lot of people trying this genre for the first time. It was very, very important to make the onboarding stronger and better than other titles. That was a big focus. Okay, here we go. Here's the thing that people got mad about. As for Game Pass, we know the behavior of players. They jump in for 5 minutes and they drop out. You can take a certain amount of decisions based on that, but at the same time, you don't want to make too many concessions. They jump in for 5 minutes and drop out. Buffet table, I've been saying this shit forever, There's no loyalty.
Who eats pizza on a buffet, man? Come on.
Yeah, that's weird, Yo, Carlos, when you went to Vegas, did you go to that? I forgot what hotel it was, but they have this huge fucking buffet. Which one? It was the Wynn, right?
Was it the Wynn? Yeah, that's one of them. That's probably the most popular one.
Yeah, like huge ass fucking buffet there,
Crab legs and everything. They got everything.
Yeah, everything. That's where it was because we went there. It must have been there for Danny's Danny when I went to for Danny's wedding. I think it was the Wynn. Because the thing is, I associate the Wynn with appointments I have. I went to go see Acer there a couple of times, and Lenovo too, I believe. Actually, it was LG I saw last time. Their new monitors, but I remember that buffet table, buffet floor. It was crazy.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, what do you think about that statement, Carlos? They get in for 5 minutes and they leave.
Yeah, I mean it's not surprising because when you got the choice, you get to try literally anything. It's like a what do you call it? Window shopping.
Yep. Yeah.
In a sense. So yeah, it's one of the reasons why we're kind of dubious about when they report engagement numbers because an engagement can mean anything, and they really aren't transparent about it. So we really don't know which games people are actually playing through and through. So yeah, I'm not surprised. It's something that is, I wish we had better transparency about.
Yeah. Yeah, like earlier this week, they said there was like 1 million players on Gears of War. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? How many sales, man? That's what I want to know. I don't give a fuck about engagement. But yeah, I just find that funny. Again, a developer just saying that shit. Hope he doesn't get in trouble, I beat Persona 5 on Game Pass. Good for you. And I'm glad you're beating your games, bro. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Kuel playing a RPG, JRPG.
JRPG.
Like RPG, obviously, will play. Already put 50 hours into Grounded, too. Damn. My man goes in,
Probably have done more than Brett.
Yeah, it probably has, yeah.
Brett loves Grounded.
It's the Master Chief Collection confirmed for PlayStation. Not yet, but that's coming. And when it does, I'm going to be on Twitter all fucking day. Watching the chaos. Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
One quick thing to say about Game Pass. I do agree with that statement that was made. But just so people are aware, if they aren't, Silksong is on Game Pass also.
Uh-oh.
So if you don't want to pay $20 for the game, just if you had Game Pass, there you go.
I can just imagine a Game Pass guy's like, I paid $20 for all the games. Why would I pay $20 for one? It don't make no sense. Yeah. See, here we go. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater shipments and digital sales top 1 million. Numbers. Not fucking engagement. Fuck engagement.
By the way, if we wanted to, if you don't mind me doing a quick sidestep to a previous conversation,
do it.
Just remember we talked Hollow Knight did 15 million.
Yeah.
Guess how much Stardew Valley did?
Oh fuck. Let me guess. I'm going to say between 20 and 25 million.
41.
25 plus.
Fuck! Even my wildest, because I was going to say 30. I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. That still would have been off. That's insane. What about, look up Undertale. How much that shit sold? That's another one of those fucking games.
It says Undertale has sold well over 5 million copies.
Oh, that ain't
with Steam
shit.
trackers. Anything 5 to over 13 million copies sold in the platform alone. So it's an estimate.
Okay.
The other one that I'm not surprised that I've actually played is Terraria. Apparently,
I remember that, yeah.
Apparently, it sold over 64 million.
What?
Yeah.
The fuck?
It's crazy. But yeah, it's not surprising because these games are always on the top 100 on Steam.
Wow.
So there's always people playing them. And they've been out for over a decade. Terraria, I played probably 2 PCs ago.
Two PCs ago. Oh, man. All these games that I just know by that I've never played. It's crazy. Anyway, Brian, you have any thoughts on that Game Pass quote?
It's not surprising. I mean, we already knew that people don't really play the games that much anyway when they buy them. So Game Pass would probably skew things even more to the idea that people just play for 5 minutes and quit it. The one thing I would like to see, which game developers are probably never going to show us, is going to be like an actual breakdown of here's all the people that have the game. They don't have to tell us exactly how many that is, but then break down as, okay, here's a percentage graph of how many hours people have played in the game. So that way you can see like a trend of,
ooh,
maybe there's like 5% that did like low numbers, and then maybe it does a bell curve of, okay, here's like the mean amount of spread of how much time played and all sorts. I think that would be fascinating, as well as a breakdown of completion. So what percentage of people actually complete what percentage of the game. I think that would be like some cool numbers to see. But again, developers will never show us that, as I'm pretty sure that reveals like internal stuff or something.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, and Brian, I'm curious if those numbers would align with what we see with achievements. Because based on achievements, only 25% of people beat games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it could like align a lot, but I just want to know what those numbers are. Like, how many people actually go through and finish a game properly, and what percentage of people actually stop of like playing at start. Again, we all know that we've seen those achievements where it's like 96% of people got something in chapter 1. It's like 96. I mean, there's an achievement in Dark Souls for like dying, and only like 98% of people have got that, which means that there's 2% of people that have not died in Dark Souls or something stupid.
Yeah.
So either they played it for less than a minute, maybe, and then turned it off, or are just god players who just have never died.
Yeah. Let me solo her.
It's like makes no sense, But hey, that's people, I guess.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let's move on here. Okay, so I hate to do this, but I have to throw one of my favorite developers and one of my favorite games under the bus. Got to talk about Capcom and Monster Hunter Wilds, bro. Because a statement came out this week that I have to call BS on. Basically, this is a headline from IGN. Capcom says the high price of the PS5 is affecting Monster Hunter Wild sales. Okay. Now, here's my objection, right? There's 80 million PS5s. That's a lot of people, right? So what are you doing wrong, Capcom, to not get some of those established players to buy the game? I think that's the real question. I love Monster Hunter to death. Wilds is obviously in my top 3 of the year, right? But that's not a system seller. That's a game that, it's for people that already own the system. Maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. But I don't think that's a system seller, right? It's really the way I see it. It's really incumbent on Capcom to entice people, and then the question is, why hasn't it? And there's been a lot of reasons, Go ahead.
Would you consider Monster Hunter Worlds a system seller?
No, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, like. I could be wrong about that, but it's just the way I see it. I just see it as one of those games. I was like, people who already own the system, like, oh shit, that looks dope, I'm gonna get it. And I just, holy crap, that looks awesome. I need to buy this system.
Yeah.
Especially because the game's multi-plat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, you make a great point because even a game like something like Persona 5, going back to the conversation with QL, I don't see that as a system seller.
No,
the game
it's not.
is great.
Yeah,
and it sells a whole ton of copies. So yeah, it makes sense. And I agree with the Monster Hunter Wild stuff. Personally, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I went on a trip and it fell victim to the curse. But and it probably same for you, but we didn't, for some reason, and maybe that we still need to figure that out. Maybe you already did, but there was something missing from Monster Hunter Wilds that we had from Monster Hunter Worlds. There's something.
Yeah, there is.
I can't really pinpoint.
I have a couple of theories, and I'm just going to lay them out right now. I think the first one is, and some of these are like universal, and then some of these are more personal, right? On the personal tip, half of us are like in a different spot, literally and figuratively, right, than we were back when the original game dropped. So, a lot of us can't get together. Like, we were always playing with Chris and Brett, for example, right? Those guys haven't really been around anymore. And even me, I could only really play on the weekends now. So, like, some of us, like, our situation has changed. So we're not able to get together like we used to. Chris didn't have a kid when the first game came out, He's always tired and shit. So that's one. Two, and this is more universal. The game was, I'm sorry, it was too fucking easy, Like when we finally got to that final boss, Carlos, remember you were like, this is the feeling I've been looking for, The game was very easy. We just cleaned house fast, and then the updates have been kind of slow in my opinion. And they haven't really been that substantial. And then obviously if you add to the fact, because obviously, most of us have been playing it on console. And even though the PC situation is not universal for everybody, a lot of people have been having issues. And people hearing about that shit will probably make them stay away, Because most of the PC players I've played with, and Brian, I think you would be included in this, haven't really had an issue playing this game, right?
I'm on console.
Oh, you're on console? Oh, never mind then. So the only I could use Subgata and Sketch, right? They haven't complained. I haven't heard nothing from them. But so I'm not saying there aren't problems on PC. There are, but I think people hearing that, like, nah, I'm good. I'm staying the fuck away from that game. So I think all those factors are the reason why not only is the game not selling as much as Capcom would like, but why we also are not playing. Like, yo, Monster Hunter World, excuse me? We were on that shit for months, Like I went, before we started streaming the new game, I looked back, we streamed for like almost 4 to 5 months straight. every fucking weekend, But yeah, so I'm going to read some of this stuff. It's kind of interesting. Monster Hunter Worlds got off to a good start. We know that like it sold 8 million in 3 fucking days, and then currently it's like 10 million. And here's where the article goes. However, for the quarter ending June 30th, Monster Hunter Wild sold 477,000 copies, only just above the 389,000 copies sold of 4-year-old Monster Hunter Rise. Wilds was the 9th best-selling game for the quarter of Capcom, while Rise was the 10th. That is crazy. People are still buying the old fucking game, And It says in Capcom's consolidated financial results, the company said regarding catalog titles, although sales were soft for Monster Hunter Wilds, the latest title in the series released in February this year, Monster Hunter Rise, the previous, we read that it's doing well. Here we go. In the interview with, Nikkei Gaming, Sugimoto, who's one of the, producers there, revealed that Capcom considered the PlayStation 5 as Monster Hunter Wilds' main platform when estimating the game's initial sales figures. But according to the console, accounting for the console accessories and monthly subscriptions like PlayStation Plus, the total cost for a PS5 amounts to about $677. Added Monster Hunter Wilds $70 price tag, and some people would rather pay for older, more complete series such as Monster Hunter World, which sells for as low as $10, and Monster Hunter Rise, which is also $10. Then buy a new console for a game with currently less content. Considering many gamers are young and don't have a lot of source of income, Sugimoto admits the cost of entry to play Monster Hunter Wilds is rather steep up. I kind of disagree with that last part. I don't think most gamers are young. I think they're old fucks like us. They have money. But that is a good point about this game doesn't have enough content, which is true. Like if you are strapped for cash, and many people are strapped for cash, are you going to pay $70 for like a game that's still getting new stuff, or $10 for a game that has a bunch of shit? So I get that, but I still think it's really more about selling the game to people that already own the system. How do you entice them? But I see where he's coming from. At least when it comes to this game, doesn't have a lot of stuff. But the part about youngsters is stupid. But young people don't play fucking games. They watch streams. Or if they do play some fucking horse shit like Fortnite or Roblox, don't let your kids play Roblox. By the way, there might be some sexual predators there. But yeah, what do you guys think about what they said right there?
Yeah, the game. I agree with the content stuff. It just feels like there weren't many like oh shit moments with that game that went viral. Where people, like with the Elden Ring, when there's like a thousands of those moments that popped up online and kept the conversation going with the game, and sort of added to the length of the experience. With Monster Hunter, I feel like there's some cool battles, some cool enemies and monsters, and you beat them like real quick, and then just moved on to the next one. Like the monsters did not feel as much of an experience as they did in the previous games.
Yeah, because you're not with them for that long because they're easy,
Yeah, they're more disposable in a sense. So that was one of them, and the second one is, I guess maybe it doesn't matter as much for these types of games, but the game was sort of like a small step forward, or in terms of just like the presentation of the game and sort of the graphics, and everything else. It was kind of just more of the same. But I understand that there's a lot of games that do that and still are stupidly successful or just as successful as its predecessors. So it could be just a me thing. So yeah, I do agree with that. The youngins thing, I have no clue, because I have no clue what they're into these days.
Yeah, we aged out. Brian, what are your thoughts? 'Cause I know you're obviously a big Monster Hunter guy, and it's been fun playing Wilds with you. When we have the chance to link up.
Yes, we should definitely do that again, because to counter the points that you made, they have added content to make the game difficult, and that's all I can say.
I like that.
Yeah, the new hunts have gone from maybe one person dies to its entire wipe in 5 minutes. So yeah, and these hunts are taking like around 15 minutes to finish off. Maybe 10 if the team is like really good and on point. So
Brian, what was the first like new water monster they added? It wasn't Lagaya, Chris. I think it was another one. Mitsusune. See, Brian, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like when we fought Mitsusune, it was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Then we were just randomly hunting another monster. We saw a tempered Mitsusune. Oh yeah, we'll take that shit out. The whole team got killed. I'm like, yes, this is the shit I want. So I'm glad to hear there's more of that.
if you want that, then they've had that. Or they've had that with the 9-star quests, which are like end game level stuff, and they are pretty brutal, and it's great.
All right. Yeah, we got to jump back.
So yeah, definitely jump back and let's see how many you guys actually finish off that, because I'm eager to see. But because again, I definitely do 100% agree that the main game itself was too easy, and I'm kind of in two minds about it. Where I can see why they might want to make it easier, so that they can funnel people more towards the end and have them actually finish it. So that does make sense to me. But then at the same time, you also get the other side where people find it too easy and may not want to finish it because it's too easy. So I don't think they can win on that front, because no matter what they do, they piss off some side of it. And again, it's a no-win for them, which I totally understand. And I guess they went with the one that they thought was best, which was, okay, make everything easy, follow more people in to the end, and hopefully more people will stay. Yeah, I think it just didn't work out. And even now with the new higher level quests, it's good that they're there. I like that. They're tough and they're difficult. Reward side, I'm not too fussed. It's very much RNG based, whatever. Again, don't care that much. My issue is that it's only certain monsters have like the 9-star variant. So I think it's the 4 Apexes, as well as Arkveld and all the new ones, and Gormagala. For some odd reason, Gormagala gets it, but whatever.
Fuck.
So I think there's only like 9 of them that have like 9-star quests, which means that all the other roster are effectively meaningless because they're not tough, they don't have good rewards. So they're kind of like, yeah, why would I fight a Lala Barina? There's no reason for me to. So it's kind of a bit. It would be nice if they all had harder quests just to make things interesting, because even now I'm getting to a point where I'm just getting sick and tired of fighting the same 6 monsters over and over again.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, then again, it's kind of like a very weird situation where I have, I think, 250 hours now. So I'm getting to that point. So maybe you guys might feel differently when you jump back on.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
No, I mean, again, I really like the game. It's in my top 3 of the year. But yeah, and you brought up another good point. That's the other thing. I felt there aren't as many monsters as there were in World, even initially. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the way it kind of felt. So I'm glad they're adding more now,
I think it is true. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think it, like, Wild came out with maybe, is it 3 or 4 fewer than World at launch. So yes, there's definitely less. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's in the single digits of less compared to base. How many they'll add as time goes on, we have no idea, but we're hoping roughly the same amount, maybe more.
Yeah, because we definitely need more monsters. But no, I'm definitely again. I've been just waiting for a good chance to jump back, because I've admittedly been distracted by other games. But like Monster Hunter's the shit, man, and I hope it starts doing better. There's no reason it can't. Look at fucking No Man's Sky got another release on Life again. A lot of people playing it this week for some fucking reason. It's crazy. All right, let's move on here. So this one, I find this one a little troubling. Sticking with Capcom here. So this comes from a leaker, so take that how you will. This isn't official yet. But according to this leaker, their name is Aesthetic Gamer or Dusk Golem. He says that Capcom is going to release Resident Evil Requiem on PS4 and Nintendo Switch 2, which begs the question, how next gen, quote unquote, is this game? I'm a little troubled by that. Go ahead.
Well, let me just start by saying, I know we're not in Halloween yet, but that's very scary to hear, Tony, because the Nintendo Switch 2, this damn sure should not be on Nintendo Switch 2. But we'll have to wait to see if that pans out. I think that is a concerning rumor. I hope it's not true.
Yeah, you mean you don't want to play the game on a Nintendo key card, Rich?
Absolutely not. But Carlos can. He could tell us how his experience is.
So this is what the dude posted. I won't beat around the bush. Resident Evil Requiem should be releasing on PS4. Talked about it with 5 different people in the last few weeks, and know another guy with good reputation. Yo, I got a cousin who works on Nintendo. You know, man, we'll see about that. But the thing is, the reason I'm kind of worried is because I wouldn't be surprised. You know, especially going back to the whole Monster Hunter thing. If they want a bunch of sales, maybe they would want it on Switch, you know, and PS4. But again, it's like, I want next gen, man. I thought we were already past that shit. Remember, we were fucking complaining for the first 5 years. I'm still complaining about these cross-gen games, bruh. You know, I'm not going to suddenly go, oh, you know, but it's Resident Evil, died, I'll forgive it. No, man, that's bullshit. I want my next gen fucking games.
But to be quite frank with this, we weren't expecting it from Capcom anyways. Capcom isn't the studio or the publisher to you know move the needle when it comes to, you know, next gen type of stuff. At least not recently. You know, they've been doing great games, but they've all been within the scope of what they've been doing recently. Like, you know, Street Fighter isn't pushing needles. What's it called? Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it's on PS4. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not surprised. The Switch, was it Switch and Switch 2 or just Switch 2?
Just Switch 2. Just Switch 2.
Okay. Because if it was Switch, I'm like, yeah, that no. I mean,
yeah, no.
that this game is not going to be impressive whatsoever. But no, I mean, if it's Switch 2, I guess it'll be like kind of like PS4 ish type performance. So yeah, I'm not surprised. The games, like the Resident Evil games, usually have their same formula to them.
Yeah.
So they're all going to look kind of the same.
And it's not giant open worlds or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rich, you going to say something?
Yeah, I have some advice for Capcom. If they want to utilize the Nintendo Switch 2, continue releasing the fighting game collection games on there. Do not put Resident Evil Requiem, Omnimusha, or any of these other games on Switch 2. Sorry, guys. I just have to say it. Because no, absolutely not.
Yeah, we'll see, but this is concerning. Hopefully this leak is, you know, not a leak at all. It's just some guy talking out his ass. That is some bullshit. But we'll see. But I also wouldn't be surprised. You know, we're still in last gen, people. All right, so moving on here. This one's interesting, especially, or sad, depending on if you were hyped for this game. I'm reading this from IGN. Perfect Dark was nearly saved by Take-Two, but the deal fell through. Uh-oh. By the way, the editor in me has to point out that that's a passive sentence. It should read, Take-Two nearly saved Perfect Dark. But I know they want to leave with Perfect Dark, so I get it. SEO and all that. Anyway, the initiative, the studio behind Perfect Dark, was shuttered earlier this year in mass Microsoft layoffs, with its project apparently canceled. However, Perfect Dark apparently remained in development at Crystal Dynamics until just last week, while leadership from both studios struggled to find new funding from a surprising source, Take-Two. That is very surprising. In a report from Bloomberg, which IGN can corroborate from its own sources, it is revealed that Perfect Dark was not, quote-unquote, fully abandoned when the initiative shuttered earlier this year. Leadership from both Crystal and the initiative spent the following 2 months looking for a new publisher and funding source. While multiple parties expressed interest, the most likely candidate turned out to be Take-Two Interactive. However, the two groups couldn't come to an agreement, at least in part due to disagreements over long-term ownership of the property. As a result, the deal fell through, resulting in last week's layoffs at Crystal Dynamics as all hope of the project being reinstalled vanished. Crystal Dynamics originally signed on to Perfect Dark as co-developer after the project struggled to get off the ground with its first co-developer, Certain Affinity. Crystal was acquired by Embracer Group in 2022, and Perfect Dark was canceled in June after failing to appear at the Xbox showcase that month. Fucked up shit, man. Is anyone upset by this? I don't care. I've never played Perfect Dark, so don't really give a shit one way or another. But Rich, actually heard that you were devastated by this news. So can you tell us more about this?
Not surprised.
That might be another Rich that you are referring to. My response to this news is, well, the title really does imitate what happened in real life because it went perfectly dark now. You will never hear about this game ever again. You'll never get to play this game. Yes. And it's a shame because, if Crystal Dynamics wanted to finish it, they could have tried to work out something with Take-Two. But Take-Two already has more than enough games that they have some type of stake in. So that's very interesting, but not surprising that they would also want to have a bigger stake in this game. But unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And Carlos, will you be able to, move on after this news, man? You're going to be all right?
I don't know how I'm going to be able to deal with this. I mean, Take-Two, they were our only hope. But I guess...
like Anakin, you were the chosen one.
Well, I would say, unlike, it turned out more like Anakin because it, ended up in failure. But the hope was more Obi-Wan, Princess Leia. He's like, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." And Take-Two didn't deliver it. And they tried to take 2 takes at Perfect Dark, none of them hit. And it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, most folks, or at least, there wasn't a substantial Perfect Dark fan base to even, justify making this game the way that they were making it. And shout out to Fable, that's another one of those. It's still not canceled yet, but we'll see. I don't know who's going to be upset at this except for like super, huge Xbox fans that are just, trying to, put water into a fire.
Yo, cool. How you holding up, bro? You good? Oh man.
Because remember, it's one of the games where it's like, it's part of the, when people were talking about the murderer's row of Xbox games that they're going to release. Like that was always in the cards. Like, and when Perfect Dark comes out,
Perfect Dark.
It's made by a studio that no one's ever, we haven't seen a game ever from. Like, it's unfortunate that they had to put the eggs in that basket. They should have just used those eggs and kept Tango GameWorks alive.
Yeah, that would have been better. He goes, I trust the Forza Horizon developers. All right. But yeah, Perfect Dark, like Rich said, it has gone dark. All right. I got to talk about this. This is another more upsetting news. So the so going back a little bit, we know that Saudi Arabia has been, kind of spreading its tentacles around the gaming world. For example, they own all of SNK. And because of that, we had fucking Ronaldo in Fatal Fury because he plays for them, for their soccer team. So now Saudi Arabia's Qiddiya, which handles like, esports and shit, now they own Evo, bro. So I'm like, here we go. Because remember, Sony owned, I don't know if we talked about that story, by the way, but yeah, Sony sold its shares of Evo off, and then these motherfuckers swooped in like, oh, we'll take it, and then obviously just seeing the influence that these guys have been having, I'm worried about this, although I have been joking because if you guys saw Evo, every time they went to commercial break, they were just selling Chipotle, all Chipotle all fucking day. So I'm like, are they going to have fucking halal Chipotle now? That the fucking Saudi Arabians own this shit? But yeah, no, this is, again, we don't know how this is going to work. But one thing I did see that was kind of interesting, because there are a lot of people upset. Obviously, Saudi Arabia, not a good regime. It's a fucking monarchy in 2025, and they're not, quote unquote, progressive. So one player, Sonic Fox, who's like openly gay and shit. I think he goes by the pronouns they, but it's a guy, he's saying he's going to gay it up even more, to protest the new Evo owners. I'm like, you better hope they don't kick you out, motherfucker. You better chill. Don't go visit Saudi Arabia either. They do certain things to your people over there, throw you off a roof. You better chill, my guy, But yeah, I'm not happy about this at all, because I don't think just seeing how the things that the Saudis have done with Fatal Fury doesn't give me hope, man. And I don't know if you guys have caught any of those matches that happen, in Saudi Arabia at the ECW. I don't like their fans in the stands, bro, because if it isn't one of their players, they don't get hype. They just sit there like fucking logs. Although it was. Oh, go ahead, Carlos. Go ahead.
Oh, I just made the connection, because remember we were talking about Evo a couple of weeks ago when it was happening in Vegas, and you were talking about there was another esports tournament in Saudi Arabia that was going on similar times. So that, damn, Sony, I thought it was all good. Now they're consolidating into a one esports, Evo and that other one probably then.
Yeah, and it's funny because Sony bought Evo during the pandemic of all things, probably because they had a lot of money to throw around. Now that the party's drying up, it's like, oh, fuck. Now they're like, shit, we got to make our money back after Concord, sell this fucking thing off, Saudis are not hardcore, but they are not afraid of violence. Yeah, there's more hardcore for sure, but I'm talking about.
They ban GTA?
I think
like the longest time.
I don't know if they did. No, but if you're of a certain demographic, they're not going to be kind to you. But they'll be cool with like guys on this podcast. Oh yeah, come give us your money. Let's go. But yeah, what's the other thing I was going to say? I did like how. Because again, these guys are the epitome of homers, right? They only cheer for the home team, and they also actively boo people who beat their teams, right? So I loved when I believe it was during a Tekken 8 tournament. One of the guys beat one of their dudes, and remember, Asians, Koreans in general are not really that excitable. Some are, right? So there's one player. I'm forgetting his name now, but he's usually a pretty cool, reserved dude. My man runs out near the audience and just starts taunting him like, I won, do something, motherfucker. I was like, oh, shit. He probably got tired of being booed the whole match, So he said, fuck this shit. So I was happy when he won, But yeah, we'll see what this ends up doing. Like, and then my thing is like, so now are we gonna have an Evo Saudi Arabia? Because we already have. I said this on the show a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, I feel that having so many Evos dilutes it. In my opinion, we should only have one Evo. That's it. But now we have fucking Evo. The main Evo. We have Evo Japan. We have Evo France. We have Evo fucking. I think Australia or some other fucking country. And now I think it was the Philippines. But now we're probably going to have one in Saudi Arabia too, Concord is ruining Sony's investment for years to come. That's a fact. But yeah, the fighting game community is also pretty upset about that. Not only because of the human rights shit, but also because of, the way Saudis fucked up Fatal Fury, But we'll see. All right. There's some gaming movie news, but I'm going to save that for later, or maybe even ditch it. We'll see what happens. I want to hear some PAX West stories.
Excuse me?
Yeah. So Rich, man, you went to PAX West, in Seattle last week, and you were giving us a lot of cool insight scoops. So yeah, whatever you're allowed to say, because I'm pretty sure there's still some shit under embargo. Yeah, just tell the fans what you got to check out.
Oh yeah, so PAX West was a rather interesting experience this year. So I'll talk a little bit about the games and a little bit about the experience of Seattle. First and foremost, I did leave Thursday night. That's why I wasn't on Throwdown last week. And I did arrive there Thursday evening because there is a time difference. On Friday, I had two really major appointments, and then I went to the indie game event called The Mix, which is always a good time.
Yeah.
So in terms of what I went to first for the earlier in the day, I had the appointment with Square Enix. I saw Octopath Traveler 0, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD, and Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh.
So I will say this. One thing I do like about anytime I go to PAX West, Square Enix has these appointments. They're completely away from the convention center and in a hotel. I like those appointments because the convention center is pretty crazy, especially on Saturday when everybody is able to make it over there. But yeah, I did enjoy my time with all three of the Square Enix games. Surprisingly, I have to say, I might be a Octopath Traveler fan.
Oh, shit.
I just might be after that little demo I played. But again, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of all the stuff I played. I am going to be doing videos for these particular games, video previews over at the Coalition Gaming YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that starting next week because I'm still working on a couple of different things. But yeah, I did enjoy that game. I also enjoyed Dragon Quest. I did play the last Dragon Quest 3 that they released last year. So this one was pretty much more of the same, but obviously it's the first and second game. As for Final Fantasy Tactics, I did not play the original Final Fantasy Tactics, so I have no idea how the comparison is. This game was pretty good. I noticed the voice acting was it's a lot more polished. The voice acting was really good. That stood out to me as well. But yeah, overall, a good time to Square Enix. From Square Enix, I then went over to Microsoft Campus because there was the Xbox hands-on event that I was able to participate in. As I mentioned earlier, I did play Carlos's most anticipated game at this event, Hollow Knight Silksong. I thought it was an okay experience. You heard what I said about that game earlier, so I'm not going to say anything else about it. I will say this. I played a couple of games at the Xbox showcase, this Xbox event. Ninja Gaiden 4 was the best game that I played at that Xbox event.
Nice.
Without a doubt. I completed the entire demo, the entire first stage. I was able to play up to and complete the first stage in the boss battle. That was an awesome game. I cannot wait for that game to drop. So definitely stay tuned for that. I also got a chance to check out the Invincible Versus game. Played some of that. I will have a lot more to say about that very soon, but that was, again, another awesome experience. One other game that I did check out, which was surprising, is There Are No Ghosts at the Grand. This is the game that we saw where they were playing the reggae music during the Xbox Showcase event. This game was very, very interesting. It's not what I expected it to be whatsoever. It's kind of like a mystery. There's a lot of layers to it. Obviously, in that trailer, they're emphasizing a hotel, but what it is about is basically a guy that comes into town and his job is to reconstruct the hotel, but he's going through other things that happen before he even gets to the hotel. And there's particular tools you have to use to do things within the environment. I will say that I will be able to talk a lot more about this soon because they are going to have gameplay out starting this month, and I will be participating in something related to that. So stay tuned for that. Pretty much, what else did I play at the Xbox event? No, I think those were the main ones. Yeah, they did have High on Life 2 there, as well as Meat Boy 3D. I unfortunately did not get a chance to play either of those games because I spent a majority of the time in Ninja Gaiden 4. That game had me locked in.
Yeah.
So that's just giving you. I'm just telling you that's the game to look out for in October. So stay tuned for that. And then of course I finished off the night by going to the mix. Saw a couple of different indie games there that I thought were pretty cool. I'll be talking about that stuff in the future. Moving on to the other stuff that I played, however, on Saturday I did have the Capcom appointment. I did finally play Resident Evil Requiem.
Oh, I want to hear your thoughts on that for sure.
Oh, yes. I enjoyed that a lot. Now, one thing I will say about PAX, because this was at the actual show itself. All of these demos are timed. So if you obviously, regardless of what happens, 20 minutes is up, you got to get the hell out of here. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. That's the way that they operate. So when I started playing that demo, obviously the objective, I think you had the exact same demo, Tony, where you basically have to, you get the introduction to the creature that's coming after you. You have to get this tool to get the fuse box, so on and so forth.
That was.
I really enjoyed the game. I like switching back and forth between the third person, and I did that so I could see the comparison of first person and third person. Yes, the game is very much a game that is I will say is pretty scary. There were people during my demo that was scared. They was very scared of certain stuff that happened because obviously you can get killed in the demo as well. I made it to the very end of the demo, and then unfortunately, it cut off because of the time limit.
Man.
But I enjoyed my time with the game. I cannot wait to see more of it, play more of it. I noticed that Capcom is still keeping a lot of secrets about this game, so I look forward to seeing what else they reveal. I know they're going to be at Tokyo Game Show, so maybe we're going to get another update about what else they got to say about this game at that show. Aside from that, I did go back to play Pragmata, and I did play that already at the Summer Game Fest show back in June. But obviously, I also played the boss fight in this particular demo. Pretty much, like I said, just the exact same Gamescom demo. Again, I enjoy that game. I'm very curious to see what the overall reaction will be to that game. I do commend Capcom for working on a different type of game. And I want to see how it does, but I enjoyed that. That was a fun experience. And then lastly, Omnimusha.
Real quick, what do you think of the boss battle?
Oh, that's a great question. A lot of dodging, a lot of I kind of found it a little hard to get around, moving around quickly when this thing is coming towards you. And again, it's more of the same with the puzzles and the shooting. I think there was a couple of different weapons that you got access to prior to that boss fight, but obviously there is one particular weapon you should use that is more effective or will help to end the battle a little bit quicker. But overall, I thought it was interesting. It did take a little bit of time. Now, I did see your boy Maximilian. He also streamed playing that boss battle. He just completely breezed right through that boss battle. It took me a little bit of time. I will admit it took me a little bit of time to get it, but I did finish it. But no, I think I want to see how far Capcom is going to take this particular approach, because every boss battle can't be exactly the same. This boss battle, because it kept moving, coming towards you and all this other stuff, you had to be a little strategic with how you were doing certain things, because you can get interrupted while you're trying to, shoot the patterns in time with the puzzles and stuff like that. But no, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, very tricky for sure. I mean, like I said about this game, it's like the whole hacking aspect slows things down, but it's also what prevents it from being a generic shooter. So it's a weird, rock in a hard place situation. But like you said, we'll have to see how it plays out over the whole game.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, the way they set up everything with the whole mission structure of getting to the top of that elevator, I did like that. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing more about what they're doing with this game. And And I also did get to play Omnimusha. And now, this game in particular, now I was very upset because once again, I got to the end of the demo with the boss, just about to kill him. Sorry, but your time is up. You got to get the hell out of here. And that was very aggravating because I was enjoying my time with the game. I was trying to, like I said, the game is not what I expected it. It's because I did see the gameplay footage at Summer Game Fest, but playing it is different versus seeing it. And I was having a trouble deflecting the enemies that were shooting at me. This particular way you're supposed to do that, because when I was playing it, I was able to position the weapon, but I wasn't in a good enough position to deflect it back at them. So I don't know if that's were you able to do that when you played that demo, Tony, or
Oh, the deflecting weapon stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. Because there were some guys that were shooting arrows at you. So you kind of were forced to do it. But I did eventually like start getting annoyed with them. So when those guys showed up, I would just find a path that leads to them so I could just fuck them up normally, you know?
That's exactly what I had to do. Because there's a lot of those enemies.
Yeah.
But no, the game the game is great. I did play the Omnimusha 2 remaster they released. So that definitely is required to just get an understanding of what's going on. But I enjoyed my time with it. And again, all these games are coming out in 2026. So looking forward to seeing more and checking them out 100%. Finishing out a couple other things I did check out. I did get to check out Crimson Desert. I did a video about that some time ago because they did announce that the game got delayed. And of course, Tony, I saw your boy Will Powers.
That's the man right there.
Yeah, he gave me a very good presentation overview of the game, and I did get a chance to play one of the missions in the game. That game, there's a hell of a lot of things going on in that game with the tech they're using to create the game. All the stuff they have going on. That's why I said I understand when they announced that they were going to delay it, because you want to make sure you get it right. And they have a lot of things going on in that game. So with the physics and all the dynamic stuff they have going on in there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, if you are looking forward to the game, I also am going to have some thoughts on that. So stay tuned for that content later on this month. I also got a chance to play Bubsy 4D. That's
your game
Tony,
of the year.
Yeah, so now Tony won't admit it, but he's definitely looking to that game. He absolutely is looking forward to that game.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I think the game is pretty good. You know, platformer. I didn't play any of the other Bubsy games, so I was coming into this just like as a fresh pair of eyes, trying to understand this thing. I know there's actually a Bubsy collection coming out soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will be an opportunity. I'm sure I will get some type of access to that. But yeah, I thought the game was pretty fun. There was somebody who was at that appointment who obviously is a huge fan. They were very excited. They were talking with the devs. Hey, can you guys let me film this entire demo? I said, wow. Oh, that's very interesting. But no, I'm not doing all that. But no, a pretty fun standard platformer. Definitely want to see more of it. That's not coming until 2026. So again, that's good because they don't want to release now with Hollow Knight Silksong out there. That game will just get overlooked completely. So that's good. Last couple of games I played. Okay, this will be good. I played that He-Man game.
Oh, okay. Reggie, where you at?
Yes, the He-Man game that we saw that Limited Run is working on. That game, hey, listen, I enjoyed that game. It's exactly what I thought it would be. I love the art style, the retro feel to it. The controls are just very straightforward. There wasn't no issues with that. I could tell that again, this is an early build because there was one sequence when I was fighting an enemy and I was basically they were off screen and I was still hitting them. I said, okay, yeah, you guys need to fix that for sure. Mm-hmm. You got to fix that. But overall, yeah, I did enjoy the game. This game, pretty much, I was told, is coming within the first quarter of 2026. At least that's the target date. So they probably are going to announce the pre-orders, I would think, towards the end of the year, maybe at the Game Awards or shortly before that. Hopefully it does still come in Q1 2026. I know everybody wants to avoid releasing later and have to worry about GTA. But no, this game is a lot of fun. If you are a fan of He-Man, if you enjoy the art style, the little video that they did put out,
man,
I think you're really going to enjoy this game.
Yeah, man. No, there's definitely been a little bit of a resurgence of like classic franchises, in games. Like, again, we were playing Ninja Gaiden and Shinobi, Ninja Turtles before that, obviously. This looks like it's going to be right up that alley, especially because the Ninja Turtles, like, oh, it's going to be good, man. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Agreed. Another game that I played is you will laugh when you hear this.
Uh-oh.
Double Dragon Revive. Okay.
Oh, that fucking game.
Oh, yes.
I definitely got to hear your thoughts on this one because, Rich, I'm just going to say I'm not impressed by what I've seen. I was just talking about, some of our old franchise being revived. This one is being revived in a way I'm not too happy with, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, I share your sentiment about not being impressed. I will say, just for the sake of comparison, the line to play Resident Evil Requiem was 3 hours. Okay, obviously, as media, I didn't have to worry about that line. The line to play this game was 1 minute, so that will let you know. Yeah, that will let you know. And again, obviously, one thing I will say is on the Coalition Gaming channel, we do cover a lot of beat 'em up games. So I will at some point cover this game because it's part of the job, part of basically talking about some of these fighting games. But I will tell you right now, that game, there's some things I don't like about that game. And first and foremost, that demo was incredibly easy. So they definitely need to bump up the difficulty settings. I was only able to play one player. There was no setup to play with somebody else. I think that could have kind of changed the experience a little bit. The controls feel pretty standard, straightforward. The art style is I'm a little iffy on the art style. There's some things in there I could tell they're trying to have a retro feel to it. But again, I just feel like if there is going to be a Double Dragon game that is ever made, maybe you want to get Lizard Cube or someone else in there that does a good job with these types of games, because I feel like they would do a better job with this. But nah, it didn't really feel like it was anything special about it. Just a straightforward. And then the thing is, after I finished playing the game, they basically were handing out surveys to have people, hey, want to give us feedback on the game? Listen, bro, this game is out in October. So what the hell feedback can they take now to make this game better than what it is? That just doesn't make any kind of sense.
That's true.
So I we'll see what happens, but I'm making a prediction now. This game is going to disappoint some people. So be prepared for that. But overall, glad that I checked it out so I know what to expect, when it drops in October. And lastly, I got a chance to play Borderlands 4, okay? They had a demo where you basically got to play with 3 other players. You run through a quick vault mission where you fight a boss. Yeah, the game was great. I enjoyed the game. They also had a setup right next to this game where basically you put on a suit and you can go into a room and smash a whole bunch of things. So it was incredibly loud in the convention center because of that. Anyone that was near that area, they were reminded that there was somebody destroying something right next to them. So that was a rather interesting experience. But yeah, Borderlands 4 is dropping, I believe it's next Friday. Obviously, Adam is going to be covering that game, but I will say, yeah, I had a good time with the game. I didn't really get into Borderlands 2 or 3. So
I've never played any of those games so I can't speak on it either.
Oh yeah, I mean, I did play Tales of the Borderlands. The Telltale did that. That was fantastic. So, but this game clearly, I think if you're a Borderlands fan, I think you'll enjoy it. I think you will enjoy it. I had a good time with it. So looking forward to that. So lastly, this is what I want to say about basically Seattle, and I'm going to also get it to the point that I made earlier. If you are ever interested in going to a PAX West event in Seattle, I will say this: Seattle is a very nice city, but there are some very, very interesting characters in Seattle, and I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now: if you ever go to PAX West and you see people outside the outside of the convention center, just avoid at all costs. Avoid. Now you can watch them and what they're doing. You'll be entertained by that. That's what I did for the majority of this trip, because it's like first and foremost, you have the scalpers out there say, "Hey, who needs a badge? I need a badge. You want a badge?" So on and so forth. That's one thing. But then you have people out there with Planned Parenthood, basically. God. Yeah, they're out there. There was somebody who had a condom on their hand, finger waving to try to get your attention. Hey, we want to tell you about Planned Parenthood. I'm like, what are these people doing out in front of the convention center when you have kids also going into this convention center? I thought that was pretty ridiculous. You also had people with the, like the Jehovah Witness type of people out there also trying to get your attention. Just a lot of people looking for an opportunity to get your attention, which I thought was pretty hilarious.
That's crazy.
But that's what I would say, though. Anybody going there, if you go outside, just observe and be entertained. Do not engage, because it will be a waste of your time. And lastly, this gets to the point that I said earlier when I made the comment about Hollow Knight Silksong. I said, Hollow Knight Silksong, it will get nominated for Game of the Year, obviously. But I will tell you right now, I very much think that Expedition 33 is going to be Game of the Year, because literally 80% of the people that attended PAX were all in cosplay as characters from Expedition 33.
Wow.
And there actually is a picture that I sent Carlos because someone dressed up their dog as a character from Expedition 33. So I was laughing at this stuff.
It was the baguette dog.
The baguette, fucking French.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was hilarious to see that. Now, obviously, I didn't finish Expedition. I will now, because after all I saw the people talking about, and then the other thing I want to mention, they did announce recently they're actually going on a concert tour for this game as well. So that's what I'm saying. This game is the indie darling. It has all the attention right now. If this is not Game of the Year, I will be very surprised. But damn, I mean, I was very surprised by that reaction, all the stuff I saw there with that game. So stay tuned for that. But overall, I had a great time at PAX Seattle. I did get a chance to hang out with our boy Fergus Mills. We went a Seattle Storm game. Courtside seats. That was pretty damn awesome to go to that game. No incidents at the game. If you know, if you know, you know. Yeah, none of that happened at the game, which is great. And if you know,
wait, that's WNBA, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'll don't worry, Rich. I'll say it. You didn't have dildos flying around everywhere.
No. Absolutely not. And Mills did tell me that actually that hasn't happened at any of their games, because he does do some work with the Seattle Storm.
Yeah,
which is great. But overall, there was a lot happening in Seattle. It was a good time, a short trip, but fun time, and PAX was pretty good. So, not a great games to look forward to, and I have a shit ton of coverage to work on, so definitely stay tuned to both the website and the Coalition Gaming, as I will be putting out a lot of videos in the next couple of weeks. That's
what's up. All right, it sounds like you had fun there. Was that your no, you've been to Seattle before, right, Rich? Like to other PAX?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you know how to handle that city, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I've only been there once, but I enjoyed it a lot, and I didn't run into too many characters. The characters I ran into were characters I wanted to talk to. I'll just say that, you know. But yeah, good stuff there. Lots of good games. You know, I liked all the teasing you were doing for upcoming things. I'll quickly jump in because you did mention Final Fantasy Tactics. I also got to play it, and I'm in the same position as you. I've actually not exactly. I have played Final Fantasy Tactics, but not the full thing. I played. I believe it's called War of the Lions on the PSP. And after the intro took me 14 hours to finish, just the prologue, I'm like, I can't do this. This is too long. You know, so I left that shit alone. There was a lot of grinding involved just for the prologue. But I got to check this one out. Yeah, like you said, I really enjoyed the voice acting, you know, those Shakespearean English acting type of deal. That was really fun. The gameplay was basically the way I remember it. The graphics were really nice, like everything like fits into HD. But I also like the fact that even without like a CRT filter, the characters still have this like really nice texture to them. That it makes it look like they were painted on like canvas. Really cool looking thing there. I beat the whole demo. It was like it was kind of actually a little bit of a fun story. So when I went in there, and Rich, let me know if this was how it was for you. They told me that they gave me one battle that was like a little bit further in the game. It was in a waterfall, and then I was supposed to play like a battle near the intro of the game just to kind of like set the stage. Is that how it worked for you?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for me it was a little different. That's what they told me. They told me you're going to play this battle in the waterfall, and then we're going to go to the beginning of the game and let you play from there, right? So I went into the demo room, and this was at 47's offices in the city. Shout out to 47. They always treat me right. Really good people. That week was interesting because I actually went to them twice in a row to check that out, and also your favorite game, Bubsy. I had to check that out as well. Unfortunately, I didn't get to check out the real game I wanted to check out during that specific session, Mortal Kombat. They just didn't have it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I played the waterfall level. I beat it, and no one came to tell me anything. So I was like, okay. So I just kept playing. So I don't know if the shit I played I was supposed to, because literally, Rich, they put me in a room and they didn't come back. They just left me in a room, never came back, you know? So I played until 90 minutes were up. That was my appointment. I believe it was 3:30 to 5 for me. So when I hit 5, I'm like, all right, I guess I'm done, you know? So that was kind of interesting. So I played maybe further in the game than I would have. Really cool, very tactical game. I think I kind of want to play it again. I actually enjoyed it even more than I did the first time, because when I played it the first time, it was kind of fresh off me playing Valkyria Chronicles, which is another tactical game. But in that one, it's a little bit more dynamic than this one. Like, for example, in this game, you know, if an enemy moves by your character, the character just kind of waits there and shit. In Valkyria Chronicles, even if it's not your turn, if a character moves near your character, you know, because they have guns, they're going to start shooting at them. So you could actually, like, there's been instances in Valkyria Chronicles where even though it wasn't my turn, my units killed a shit ton of the enemy just because they got too close, you know? So I was still thinking, I'm like, why aren't the characters reacting like, pull out your fucking sword and hit him? He's right next to you, bro. So I got used to that. But yeah, I want to play it again. And I'm pretty sure Square Enix will hook me up with a review code. I really enjoyed it. Although, you know, we'll see what happens, because I did promise Riku that I'm going to play Trails in the Sky, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because I played that demo. I don't know if I talked about it on the show, but that was actually quite enjoyable. So shout out to Riku. He's been yelling at me for like a decade now to play that.
What up?
Yeah, what up? But yeah. Thanks for that tales, Rich. I always like when you tell those stories, bro. I'm just sitting back and listening. Like, yeah, man, you're a very good orator. You know. Oh man.
Yes, sir.
And then one other thing. Speaking about demos and stuff. The Tokon beta, Marvel Tokon beta, is happening this weekend. And I am in the beta. I'm not going to say I was lucky enough to because I got a fucking code. Let's just be real. Or rather, Sony ensured that I was invited to the beta, right? But apparently, a lot of our boy, Maximilian Dude, was not invited to the beta. It's very interesting. And apparently a bunch of other like FGC influencers, Rich, have not gotten an invite. Like
What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's funny. Like one of the other guys that watch Rufo Manga, really good YouTuber, really fun guy too. Like he made a video titled "No one is getting into the Marvel beta," and I'm thinking, I got mines. You better get yours. But again, I have an unfair advantage and shit, because when I heard that his beta was happening, and obviously I heard about it behind the scenes, I hit up Sony. I'm like, yo, make sure I'm in this motherfucker, because I'll say this. Sony, very good to me, man. Very good to me. So they hooked it up. So I'll be playing this weekend. Hey, Jeffrey, if you're still in the chat, I know we were supposed to hang out at Barcade because of Pump King is back in town, but I think I may have to skip it because I'm looking at the play sessions. There's 4 play sessions, and the only one I could really attend is the one on Saturday between 4 and 10 because the other ones are at funky times, like in AM and shit. So if you're watching this, apologies, but if you're not watching this, I'll hit you up and let you know. Obviously, unlike some other friends that we have, Jeffrey, mutual friends, I don't flake, brother. I don't flake. If I have to drop out, I let you know ahead of time. How there's some dudes and shit they get embarrassed about, like, oh, I got to drop off, and then they just don't say shit.
Yeah, some people would just rather just not say anything and just you're left wondering what the hell happened.
Yeah, no, fuck that. I hate that shit. There he is. All good, bro. Yeah, again, Jeff, I actually retweeted it if you want to check it out. So the first play session is tomorrow, and I got to do translating. It's double translating, military time and fucking California time. But if I'm reading this right, the first play session tomorrow is. I can't do it. What the fuck is 2100? What time is that? Is that 9? Like if
2100 is 9, yeah.
That's 9, right?
Yeah.
So that would be midnight for New York. Okay, so I could do that one. I'll probably play for an hour and knock the fuck out. That's early. Then the second play session is 8 a.m. to I can't. I'm gonna be sleeping. And the session I'm going to play is going to be from 4 to 10. And then the next session after that is fucking 6 a.m. I'm not doing that, obviously. So apologies, Jeff, but we will be getting that Pump King. I'm even down to go during the week, bro. Let me know I'm down. When the fun thing is like, and we've done this like a couple of times already where I would just meet Jeff after work and we chill, Your boy don't have a PS5, so my salt is flowing. Yeah, no, but shout out to Jeff though. He was at Evo. He got to play it. He did a really good write up on it over at PC Mag. So I encourage you to go check that out. The one thing I gotta just tell myself, and Jeff, you told me this too. Don't think about Marvel vs. Capcom. This is not that game. This is something completely different. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll obviously let you guys know. Since it's happening on Saturday, I could probably tell one of you motherfuckers better ask me about it, or maybe I'll talk to my boy Rob Mudeath. He'll ask me about it. Wink, wink. Oh man, there was some movie stuff here, but I want to start ending the show. We're already coming up on 2 hours. Maybe somebody asks us during the weekend because there's a Call of Duty movie now in the works, and Carlos's favorite actress Sophie Turner is going to be playing Lara Croft. What the
really?
fuck are we doing,
Really?
bruh? Yeah, in the fucking Amazon TV show, she's gonna be playing Lara Croft.
Oh, and by the way, one comment to make.
Yeah.
When you talk to your boy Romudef, tell him that I would love to see him ask a question about this Street Fighter movie now that we have seen the casting
Yes.
of all the people. Yes.
Yeah, I think he may have to ask a question about these movies because now it's official. The cast is out there. Are you ready for 50 Cent? Are you ready for 50 Cent? Amazon always messing things up. Never forgive Wheel of Time. Yeah, a lot of people are pissed about that. I think the only thing Amazon has done right is fucking Invincible, you know?
And the boys.
And the boys, there you go. So they do some stuff, but generally speaking, they're trash, you know? Fuck, man. Again, I love what Robert Kirkman said about Invincible. It's like, oh, why are you sticking so close to the comics? Like, oh, because I'm lazy. He said I'm lazy. Just, what's in the book, we do that in the show. They make changes, obviously, but they are definitely, I would say, they're 80% accurate, which is pretty good, you know?
Yeah.
And our Carlos obviously will be starting up that podcast when the new Invincible season starts, you know, and Rich will be there. And maybe Dana, we'll see, because sometimes she shows up, sometimes she doesn't. Will they put in the? Oh, no spoilers, QL. No spoilers for Invincible. I'm not gonna read that shit on air, bro. Remember, man, we can't be doing. Just because we're at the comics doesn't mean we got to be spoiling shit. Oh, but it happened 15 years ago. Respect, bro. Respect. You know? And this is why I also believe the Invincible game is probably not going to have comic book characters from beyond the show, you know? And I think that's a good thing. You know, that's how you get more characters for the sequels. Or, expansions. You know how fighting games are now. Season 3 characters from like fucking season 7 of the show or some shit, you know? Oh no, Amazon. I didn't say Amazon doesn't change Invincible. They have, you know, like look at the first episode. And I can't talk about this. Everybody's seen it. The way Omni-Man kills the Guardians team, very different than in the book. In the book, it happened later on, and you know he did it one by one. In the show, it's all at once. So they do change stuff. I don't know where you got that. I said I didn't. I literally said they do change stuff. You know, but you know, people hear what they want to hear. All right, let's start wrapping it up, man. Rich, what's coming up on the Coalition this weekend?
Yeah, so like I had mentioned earlier, continuing to work on a lot of content from PAX West. So I can say, stay tuned. You'll see me covering a lot of games, and I do want to make one announcement because I will consider this a Throwdown exclusive. I am allowed to say that I now have Ghosts of Yote.
Oh, there you go. Oh, are you gonna thank Sony for that?
No. We knew we get access to that. So yeah, look for my review on September 25th.
There you go.
But yeah, so I will be busy to say the least this weekend.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, shout out to Adam and the TV terminal. That's probably what he's doing now. Yes. So make sure you go check that out. Also on the Coalition, right, Rich?
Absolutely, yes. I think they're still covering Dexter. The season finale is coming up, and of course, they've been covering this other show, Terminal Lists. So, yeah, stay tuned. They're gonna have more things posted up so soon. So look for that on the website for sure.
Yeah. By the way, I know we're wrapping up, but I got to tell this quick story, man. What's up, Rich? Anything else?
Oh yeah, one last thing, one very important thing. I Am Negan returns this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, myself, Carlos, and Adam reviewing Daryl Dixon season 3. So look for that on Sunday.
Good stuff, man. The boys are back. The boys are back. You know,
the boys are back down.
Yeah, but yeah, going back to the whole thing about how like a bunch of influencers are posting about how they got the Ghost of Yote code. So, and I'm going to withhold names, right? But this is something one of my colleagues from another publication told me, right? Basically, he got an email from a company, very prominent company, with a list of, like, basically they wanted, him to like check out one of their new products, and they had a bunch of stipulations. You could talk about this, you can't talk about that. Make sure you mention this, all this shit, right? So he's like, I'm not agreeing to this shit. What the fuck is this? So he replies, he's like, I'm not complying to any of this. This is ridiculous. You don't tell us how to run our editorial staff. And this the reply he got. Oh, sorry, that wasn't meant for you. You write whatever you want. I'm like, oh shit, he got the streamer fucking script, didn't he? Ain't that something? Isn't that interesting? So when you see influencers, if they're covering a specific thing and you notice they keep saying the same things, there's a reason why. Literally, this was behind the scenes. Like, they were like, oh shit, our bad. That's not for you. Like, you write whatever you want to. I'm like, oh shit. Like, they didn't say it, but you know who that was meant for, Carlos.
Okay, so that.
Yeah. Got to give away the PlayStations and Unit Square, baby. Fuck the whole place up.
Starting riots.
That's it. Yeah. They did show off the James Bond game, but I didn't see it, so I got nothing to say there. Did anybody? Did you see that? They had like a 30-minute thing on it this week.
I did see it. I actually did a video on that on the Coalition Gaming as well as the website. Yeah, the game. Listen, I'll give a shout out to our very good friend, Mr. Kennedy.
Shout out to Kennedy,
this game,
man. That's the homie right there.
Exactly. Agent 007 is really Agent 0047 because this is Hitman meets Uncharted meets I saw people talking about the Uncharted comparison. Yeah, but it's a lot of explosions, a lot of some driving, and definitely the stealth. All that stealth from Hitman is in this. So but I thought it looked pretty good. It's coming out March. So literally at the end of March, you have Resident Evil coming out at the end of February. There's a lot of things dropping next year, but they're making sure to do it before GTA comes out. So very interesting.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, man. So let's wrap it up. So thank you guys for checking us out as always. Make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Join the Discord where the conversations and the rumors are always popping. Again, big shout out to Kels, who's always dropping a bunch of stuff. He was our news guy over at SCFU and Play, so he's bringing his talents over to our Discord, which is always appreciated. And obviously, Mob Hits is always, finding, like, I don't know where my man finds these stories, man, but he's always finding some good stuff. So shout out to everybody in the Discord. You guys keep it lively, man. And also shout out to Jay Shep, who doesn't understand why you would buy a very expensive PC and then play Silksong on it. He's like, I don't get it. Oh man. And yeah, you can find us on your favorite podcast app. Just search for Throwdown Show. And links to everything down in the description. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Richard Bailey Jr.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
And Brian Manjoma.
Don't make jokes out there. Kia's watching.
Yeah, right. Well, if you're in England, right? Fuck. Actually, Brian, if I make a joke and I go to England, can I get arrested?
It'd be a funny time, I will tell you that much.
Oh, no.
But I say that because they're actually trying to sue 4chan.
Wow.
And I think that's funny. And 4chan just told them, well, it's 4chan. You can guess what they told them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it ends with F and U. Yeah, Keir Starmer's a fucking piece of shit. Yeah, come arrest me, bro. Oh, man. All right, guys, we'll see you on Sunday, man. Ask them questions. Later.
This is